Nobody can convince me that Morena wasn't the abusive one in her marriage. Somebody has to do an interview with Rex. Married at First Sight, Sunday the 16th of February, episode 13, and Billy needs to find a half-decent woman. Sierra is not the one. During Confessions Week, he opened up to her, he was honest and he was vulnerable, and she wouldn't even speak to him, and then she had the absolute audacity to go and speak to another groom. What a cheek. As we've seen at the dinner party, her and Adrian were playing footsie under the table, and Adrian has made videos saying, oh, nobody's playing footsie with me, and totally playing it down, and apparently Adrian and Athena are still together. Constantly on my FYP, I'm seeing videos of Billy, and everybody in Australia's loving him, so surely to God he's got a half-decent girlfriend by now. So they had sex for the first time since the honeymoon, and he got up thinking everything's fine and well, and she's just sitting awkward. Was it because they didn't want to talk about it in front of the cameras? Like, watching it, I thought, when is this bit going to be over? I can't even look at it any longer. Then when they went to talk to the experts, and she says, oh, we don't have like that emotional connection, and then when they had sex it was like weird, and I thought, my God, that's a shame for him. The experts asked Morena if she was aware of how aggressive she is when she argues with people, and she points at people and shouts at them, and she's like, no, I wasn't aware of that. That's because she's a narcissist and she's going to blame every single problem on everybody else. I can't stand her. I don't understand how they managed to sit at that dinner table and not answer her back. Like, if somebody spoke to me like that, I would go nuts. Even Jamie didn't want to say anything in case she bit her head off. And Jamie is really forward. So that just goes to show you how intimidating she is. Well, to them anyway. It's even more baffling that she says to Paul, be quiet little boy, and Karina didn't say anything. If you said that to my partner, I would go fucking mental. But they just let her speak to them whatever way because she's older. I'd be like, who the fuck are you talking to, you fucking old hag? I seen an interview where she says the show held her against her will for weeks and she had to call the police and she tried to leave the room and there was security out in the hall. I don't believe a word that she says. Apparently, if they leave the show early, they can be liable to pay $50,000. I don't understand why the show isn't suing these people, because they're all breaking their contract, and I know a lot of people will say, oh, they're not doing it because the show's made them look bad, or it's embarrassed them, or whatever. It's literally in their contract that can happen. The only reason that they would maybe not sue them is if they genuinely did hold them against their will, but other than that, I don't get it. And people will say, oh, I would never take a company's side over a person, but that's what contracts are for. What's the point in having one if you're just going to break it? And then what's the point in having one if you're not going to sue somebody for breaking it? It makes no sense. She chose to leave. She had the cheek to be the one to choose to leave. And then he decided to stay. I'm beginning to think he's unstable. I'd have run in the other direction as fast as my legs could carry me. And I'm not saying he's perfect, because we all know that he's still married and he's still in love with his wife, but there's no way I could put up with that. Athena was telling the experts that she feels like Adrian doesn't appreciate her and he doesn't do any acts of kindness or anything, and he doesn't listen to her. So then every time she tried to explain, he was cutting her off, and the experts were like, you're doing exactly what she says you're doing. He's like an actual child. He gives me the creeps anyway. Like, his face just gives me the boke. And then him and Sarah had revealed that they had went and told each other about what they were going to say during Confessions Week or whatever. What a total slap in the face. And he says, oh, there wasn't cameras. But as the expert says, there's not cameras there 24/7. They're not there when you're in bed at night. Nah, I just don't trust any of them. As we've established from the start, Jackie and Ryan are complete nutcases. She was saying, oh, we don't have things in common because he likes to read fiction and I like to read self-help books. So what? So what? My partner doesn't read at all. I play the computer, my partner doesn't play any of the games that I play. You don't have to do the exact same things. She's an absolute nutjob. She's like, oh, he likes to watch TV. And what? I don't even like Ryan. But she's a fucking psychopath. The two of them are so desperate to try and make themselves look good, and it's just making them look even worse. So in the next episode, we've got the return of these two fannies, and then we've got a guy who was in Big Brother Australia. I seen him at first and I thought I recognised him. Was he for F-Boy Island or Love Island? But it turns out it was Big Brother Australia, my favourite show. I should have known. I'm not looking forward to seeing these two idiots, but it's all about the drama, I suppose. Let me know in the comments what you thought of last night's episode, and I'll see you again today.